Trump is vowing to do mass deportations.
What's your message right now for the people in New York living in fear?
We have a broken immigration system. I don't believe in mass deportation, but I don't believe in mass saturation. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city, cost us $6.4 billion. I'm not allowed to let them work. I'm not allowed to be participating in the tax base of this city. We can't deport those who commit crimes in our city. We are not allowed to connect with ICE. This is a failed system.
Hey guys and girls, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what happened on The View this past week when New York City Mayor Adams went on The View to talk about the city, his current scandal that he's dealing with right now, and mass deportation as far as immigration. Now, Mayor Adams is a lifelong Democrat. He is a black man who runs New York City right now, and you would think based on those demographics that The View would be able to kind of reel him in and have him do their talking points that they love to do on The View 24/7, 7 days a week, which is anti-Trump, anti-Republican, anti-conservative, and pretty much fascist. And well, things didn't exactly go the way that they expected. Now, the reason why this was such an interesting interview is because the shift that we're seeing with Mayor Adams is very similar to what we're seeing across the board in many states and amongst many demographics of people. I mean, just look at the demographics who voted for Donald Trump this time around. He got more votes from demographics that people expected to go the opposite way. And in fact, it went Donald Trump's way. I mean, we all know that 20% of black men voted for Donald Trump this time around, which is much higher than any other Republican. Over 50% of Latino men voted for Donald Trump, I being one of them. Even the freaking Amish voted for Donald Trump. I believe 42% of Gen Z, who I thought was 1000% going to vote for Kamala Harris, I thought in a sweeping wave, and I was wrong. And I'm so happy to say that I was wrong because I misjudged that generation. I thought Gen Z was going to be completely woke. They were drinking the Kool-Aid. And to my surprise, they didn't. Now, granted, majority still voted for Kamala Harris, but 42% is a pretty high number. That's almost half and half. And that gives me hope for the future that the younger generation that's coming up is not going to be psychotically progressive, shaving their heads, and they understood the assignment, which is the future of this country. And overall, Donald Trump pretty much swept so many demographics that people did not expect him to sweep. So Mayor Adams on The View, not drinking the blue Kool-Aid, is a pure reflection of where our country is going today. And the ladies of The View were not happy while he was speaking about some of the issues. And I think they were kind of shocked. Wait, what? You're not going to mimic our talking points? What's going on here? Watch this clip.
Now, the country is unpacking the results of the election.
Yes.
The vice president won New York, but by 12 points as opposed to Joe Biden's 23-point margin. That was a significant move to the right in New York State. What do you attribute and you actually stated that you think, you said the far left agenda is backfiring. What do you attribute the decline in support among Democrats in New York to, and what are Democrats getting wrong?
Well, what you saw in this city, in this election, when you saw a shift and the state becoming redder, is because we stopped talking about working class people issues. When mom and pops are afraid, I can't pay my college tuition, the rent is too damn high, healthcare is too expensive. We stopped talking to everyday New Yorkers and Americans. When I'm in the street.
Pause. Look at Sunny Hostin's pompous, elitist face as this man is speaking some truth about why Donald Trump had this shift, and she can't even stomach it. She can't even sit down and listen to him authentically without having that nose in the air, high and mighty, judgmental look that she always has. And this look right here that you see is a look that so many Democrats have, and it's why they lost. It's the look of, how dare you think outside the box? As a black man, as a man of color, as a Democrat, how dare you not uplift the DEI hire that is Kamala Harris? How dare you?
Talking to them, they're not asking me, Eric, tell me about fascism. They're talking about finance. They're not talking about Hitler. They're talking about housing. We need to talk to everyday working class people, and we stop doing that. And those are the issues that they are afraid of. They're afraid of the future of their children.
But the Democratic Party was addressing most of those issues with the infrastructure bill, for example, and keeping Medicare and Social Security safe. Why would they vote for the party that will hurt them? I didn't get that.
Well, you know, part of the business of campaigning is getting your message out and being clear on your message. Even the experts in their party were saying, get back to the message. What are we doing for everyday people in the country? And that's the same thing happened in 2022. When I got elected in 2022, I stated that, listen, we need to be talking about crime in this country. They ignored it. We lost the election. During 2023, I said we had to deal with this migrant and asylum seeker issue. It was on the top 1 or 2 issues in the country. We ignored it. We have to go back and talk to those issues that people are worried about.
Okay, we have to go back and have a commercial. We'll be right back.
Commercial break. How convenient, Joy. How convenient. I love how he mentioned the fact that, listen, when I'm on the streets and I'm talking to people, they're not asking me about fascism or about Hitler or about how Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. They're talking about, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to pay for gas? What's going on with security in this state? Why is it that migrants are running amok right now? Why are migrants getting debit cards with over $500 a week for food when we can barely afford groceries ourselves? Why are they getting benefits and we are not? What is going on in this country? What's going on in this city? What's going on with this party? That's what they're talking about. They weren't talking about the character of Donald Trump. That is a distraction. And the main issue that Kamala Harris ran into, and this is the same issue, by the way, that Hillary Clinton ran into, is their entire campaign was, vote for me because I'm not that guy. And that type of message is never going to win people over, because it's not about you and what you can do for the country. It's about why they shouldn't vote for that other person. And if you watch Donald Trump's speeches and when he rallied for himself, he constantly talked about what he was going to do as far as addressing the issues of this country. He wasn't talking about Kamala Harris and the Democrats and Joe Biden. Yeah, he mentioned them, but his main argument was, I'm going to fix this mess and this is how I'm going to do. Whereas Kamala Harris, her main message was Hitler, Hitler, fascist, abortion. And that message, just ask Hillary Clinton, does not work. So I love the fact that he brought that up. And Joy Behar, she's so funny to me, you know. Oh, but the Democrats are going to do this and do that, so why wouldn't people vote for them? Well, like he said, because their messaging sucked. That's why. Their messaging did not penetrate the thoughts, the minds, the souls, and the hearts of Americans. And we also lived through the past 4 years with Kamala Harris in power with Joe Biden. So tell me, how exactly was she going to be any different than Joe Biden? Especially when Sunny Hostin, who by the way is the MVP because she's the one that really sunk Kamala Harris's whole campaign, when she asked her, what would you do different from Joe Biden? And Kamala Harris's answer was, I can't think of anything. Really? That one answer completely tanked her entire campaign. And listen to what Sunny Hostin says about that exact question, and also how she admits that she was trying to throw Kamala Harris a softball question. Something tells me if Donald Trump went on their show, there would be no softball questions.
I asked the vice president what she would do differently in a Harris administration as opposed to a Biden administration.
And what if if anything, she wishes she could have done differently in the past 4 years, or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I followed up because I was surprised at the answer. Look, I think it wasn't so much about the question, but it was really more about the answer.
Not a thing comes to mind.
Not a thing comes to mind. And that's why I followed up with, is there anything that you would do differently? And the reason I followed up is because, that wasn't a gotcha question. That was a layup, really.
It was an important question, and I think one she should have expected.
Because that's what I thought. I actually thought it was a chance for her to explain to all the people who are saying, I want a change agent, for her to explain that, of course, she has a different lived experience from President Biden. But they did have one of the most successful administrations in our country.
That's the tricky part.
And I thought she would then say, I would build on the wins that we've had. And I had a laundry list of wins in my head.
Right.
And she didn't answer it.
So pretty much Sunny Hostin is admitting that the entire question was supposed to be a layup for the vice president to help her out. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but aren't they supposed to be neutral people, right? Journalists who are just asking questions to officials and to candidates. I mean, they themselves said, why won't Donald Trump come to our platform? Well, that's why. Because he's not stupid. Because he knows that if he goes on your platform, you are going to give him gotcha questions, unlike Kamala Harris. And sadly for her, she was too stupid to get that layup question and landed the way that it was supposed to be landed. Instead, she completely flopped it. But the point is, Sunny Hostin is admitting that her question was meant to help the vice president. Her question was meant to give her a bonus, a push, a boost. And that to me just screams bias. And it's also why nobody trusts legacy media anymore, because legacy media is not about giving you the information. It's about how to get you to vote for a person, or how to get you to think the way that we do as far as how we ask these questions. That to me is lacking so much integrity. And if anything, The View and Sunny Hostin just told on themselves when it comes to how they approach interviews and who they talk to and why they ask certain questions to certain people and not to others. Which also goes to why Sunny Hostin looked so pissed off in that clip when Mayor Adams was talking and wasn't saying anything that she would have wanted him to say. In fact, he was saying the opposite. He was actually talking like a MAGA person, like somebody who actually understands the plight of the people. And Sunny Hostin is sitting there thinking, what are you doing? This is not the script. But you know what? I give him credit because he's been talking about the migrant issues and the fact that the Democrats have dropped the ball on this specific issue for about 2 years now. And nobody was listening to him. People were saying, be quiet, oh, shut up. And here we are. Here we are. Let me give you guys a refresher of what he was saying just a year and a half ago.
110,000 migrants. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children, wash their laundry sheets, give them everything they need, health care. And this team here, we stated, let's do everything possible before we have to push it out into neighborhoods and communities. Month after month, I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here. We're getting no support on this national crisis, and we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this.
And this is what he said shortly after Donald Trump won during a press conference. Watch this.
Donald Trump increased his margins in New York City and in New York State. Still Democrats won by a good amount, but does that concern you at all as the Democratic mayor of New York City?
I'm sorry.
Donald Trump,
Right. Why,
president.
I don't understand the concern part. Why am I concerned?
You're the Democratic mayor of New York City. You're concerned that Democrats are losing support in the 5 boroughs in New York State.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. This far left agenda that I've been talking about for a long time, where we're not focusing on working class people. And I've said this right here in the same room. Some of the things that you talk about is not what working class people are talking about. These working class people are concerned about the future for their families. And when you're not talking to, when you're talking about things that are not impacting them, how do I get the Metro card? How do I make sure that I can put food on the table? These are real issues. And so when you're not talking about those real issues, then it doesn't surprise me that people are saying, listen, you're not speaking on my behalf anymore. And I'm looking at all of these analyses that are coming from after the election. It's no different from New York than other municipalities. It's not only New York where people decided that we don't believe people are speaking on behalf of those issues that are important to us.
Again, New York State did go blue as usual, but the margin was a lot closer than people expected. And Donald Trump actually gained a lot of ground in areas like the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens. I mean, what? So this is just the beginning, in my opinion. This is just the beginning of a shift that is going to be happening. And I truly expect some type of major gravitational shift to happen politically, where the Democrat Party may be losing areas like New York State pretty soon, and communities within these cities and these boroughs who used to always be Democrat by default. And now all of a sudden they're not anymore because they're tired of the games that the Democrat Party has been playing. They are no longer the party of the people. They are the party of the lobbyist. and corporate America. And they just don't know how to relay the message to the people because they're too concerned about gender identity and DEI hiring. Yeah, shocked that didn't work. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video. What did you think of Mayor Adams on The View if you saw the clips? What do you think of Sunny Hostin admitting that she was trying to give softball questions to Kamala Harris, which she wasn't able to fulfill? Not shocked. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time.